Hi everybody, I'm Kristin.
And I'm Robin.
And we want to welcome you to 50 and Fearless.
Today we're going to talk about whether vanity is always the basis for plastic surgery or not. And we have a lot to say on the subject.
Yes,
and
we
Kristin
do.
actually has some firsthand experience that she's going to get into in a minute. So everybody has something that they don't like about themselves when they look in the mirror. So for me, when I look in the mirror, yay, you get to see everything. I have a really hooded eye that is getting worse as I get older, and it's irritating me because I really like to wear makeup, I really like to play with eyeshadow, and it's just getting droopier and droopier, and it's getting harder and harder to put any makeup on. Half the time I just say, not gonna do it, I don't wanna worry about it. I also have an issue with this side of my mouth slowly going away, just the upper lip. And I don't like my neck. The genetic lottery in my family is not kind as far as our necks go. And so I'm trying to think about, what options I might have once I've lost weight. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is kind of the topical things, the injectable things that you can do that are not as invasive as doing like a larger surgery. So cosmetic companies now have a lot of products that they offer. There are creams, of course, and serums. There's vitamin A, which is an acid. There are retinols that you can get, both over the counter and also prescription, that are very strong. You can go to a dermatologist and you can get laser treatments or things like that. A lot of cosmetic companies now have a 2-step microdermabrasion program where you use 2 different pads. One of them causes the reaction that will resurface your skin. The other one stops the reaction. There are also things like injectables that you can get, like Restylane or Botox. And there are all kinds of fun gadgets that you can try, especially if you've got a spare $200-300 laying around that you don't have anything else you want to do with. So things that there's a neat gadget called a New Face that uses electric current to try and help tone your face. There's something called microneedling or derma rolling, which is kind of scary. It's a little roller with little
Not
needles
scary.
all over. Kristin knows about that one too. And that apparently has some good success rate. And so, there are a lot of different options that we have that we can work on without actually going to a plastic surgeon and having eye work done, having my nose redone, having my chin done.
Having a facelift.
Having a facelift, exactly. You can get, apparently, one of the issues with a droopy eye or hanging a hooded eyelid is that it can impede your vision as it drops lower and lower, and you can get surgery through that, and sometimes insurance will pay for that. So something to keep in mind if you've got that issue. And that might be something I look into. So if insurance will cover it, that might be a good thing. And so then
I have a very different take on this because I have already had plastic surgery. I have had plastic surgery in Mexico just recently, less than 6 months ago, for significant weight loss. I've lost over 200 pounds, and I would like to lose another 40 or 50 pounds before I complete my plastic surgery experience, if you will. But I chose to have my upper body work done first. When you are looking at plastic surgery after significant weight loss, there's going to be primary concerns. And for me, my primary concern was my arms. I had significant skin drooping from my arms, significant. And I suppose you could say that it was mostly vanity. I didn't like the way it looked. Being in a hot climate, it was hard to wear short sleeve shirts. I had to wear sleeves all the way down to mid-arm or the forearm, 3/4 length sleeves. I didn't like the way my clothes fit because my shirts would get stuck. My arms would get stuck inside my shirts, and I didn't like that. So getting my arms done was definitely a priority for me. I knew at the onset of my weight loss journey that I would have to get my arms done because I carried a lot of weight in my arms. But I hadn't really fully thought out what other areas I'd want to get done. So I didn't really know what the result would be and how I would look. And so at the time that I decided to get my arms done, I did also get my breasts done. And I was fortunate, if you want to call it that, to have enough redundant tissue that I was able to not need implants, and I was able to have a breast lift without augmentation. But it also basically was a breast reconstruction or a breast reduction. And though I had it in Mexico, in retrospect, I think possibly it could have been funded by insurance because of it being a breast reconstruction, a breast reduction. That's something that we were talking about before we started our video today. Would you like to comment on maybe your future with breast reduction?
Right. I have always had a larger chest. From the time that I was 15 or 16 years old, I was a C cup, a 36C. And as as you get older, tissue changes, things start to droop. With weight gain and weight loss, you have even more of that. And I lost a significant amount of weight several years ago. I've since regained it, but at the time I started having issues with back and shoulder problems, and so we had started talking. I just started discussing it with my doctor. Started discussing possibly having a reduction, and it is something that I would do. But I was telling Kristin that my one of my favorite jokes is I can't lose weight because my stomach is the only thing holding my boobs anywhere near where they're supposed to be. So, and unfortunately, that is probably true as well. So as I lose weight, I'm going to have more issues with my back, with my shoulders, and I'm going to need to think about having some kind of surgery, and it would be a reduction surgery, maybe a reconstruction.
So one of the things we wanted to address here, because our channel is called 50 and Fearless, we're both 50-ish, and and we were talking about the fact that neither of us desires or even imagines at this point having a Barbie body. Plastic surgery for us is not about having a Barbie body, but one of the things that I considered it big time was to have a normal body, to have a body that kind of resembled what a normal person looked like. And when you've lost a significant amount of weight, especially when you're older, it's very likely that your body is not going to look normal. In fact, the degree of deformity can be rather extreme. And when you have that level of misshapenness, you can feel psychologically and emotionally like you have not really achieved what you have achieved, because you're carrying the weight and the shame, if you will, of all those years of being morbidly obese. And so last year about this time, I spent about a week and a half in Monterrey, Mexico with my girlfriend Joni. And I'm going to put a link, if you don't mind, Robin, we'll put a link to Joni's channel. We're going to link to her first video the night that she was marked up in Monterrey. And we both had the same surgeon, Dr. Francisco Sasaira. And we'll put a link to that first video. If you're interested, you can continue and watch her subsequent videos after the first one, including the night of surgery, the night she came out of surgery, which was amazing. But one of the things that I told Joni after surgery was, and that's something that she really, this stuck with her and, made her very emotional, was that, she gets to live with this body for the rest of her life. Joni is also nearing 50, and, no plastic surgery is cheap. You know, even in Mexico, her surgery came close to almost $20,000. The work that
She had a total
she had a
body
total
lift,
body
right?
transformation. She had her breasts lifted with augmentation. She had an arm lift, a thigh lift, a 360 circumferential body lift. She had a little bit of work on her bum and a fleur-de-lis tummy tuck. So she had everything done, basically everything done. And that was rather, you know, extreme. However, you know, we really enjoyed making YouTube videos from Monterey. And another thing I wanted to address was the fact that, you know, Joni definitely had an increase in viewership during her plastic surgery journey. And we had comments from people who said that Joni, with her YouTube videos, was taking the fear out of plastics. Having just gone through plastics about 5 months ago, I can tell you it is not scary. You know, I've had a lot of surgeries. I've had a lot of illnesses. My plastics experience was phenomenal, and you can definitely reach out to me if you have any questions or want to discuss specific procedures or anything that I've gone through. But as I mentioned, you know, and as I've said, one of my objectives is to have the rest of my plastics done, which for me at this point would be something with the belly and my thighs. And I don't know if I'll have it in Mexico or if I'll have it in the United States. With the amount of weight loss that at that point I would have had, it'll be close to 250 pounds or more. You know, I might be able to get that covered through insurance. I'm very fortunate in that I don't have skin breakdown, but a lot of people will document their skin breakdown and their skin issues, their chafing, their skin infections, and so that they can get insurance to cover that.
It definitely becomes very much a health issue. And one that you don't want. You really don't want it. Now, I will say that I have never had any surgery, dental surgery, which is horrible, but I don't think it counts. And I will say that watching the videos, Joni's video, Kristin's information, pictures, they've been very open about documenting the process and showing everything. And it definitely has taken the fear out of the process for me.
That's good.
Any procedure that you have, there's always a risk, a certain amount of risk. But all you can do is do your homework, research, and be prepared. And everything looked amazing. The care that they received in Monterey was wonderful. And of course, it's helpful to have somebody who is bilingual go with you. And so just being able to see those things, the internet's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
It can be scary, but it's also wonderful. It can open up all of this information.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but the night before my surgery, I watched those surgical procedures on YouTube. Didn't scare me at all.
Right. And you said you have a friend right now who is
I have a friend who's in her 70s, and she is right now in Monterey having plastic surgery done because she understands that concept of, you know, this is your body for the rest of your life. And if you are not comfortable in your skin, then there are ways you can change that nowadays.
Exactly. So it's some things can be about vanity. And if those things make you feel better about yourself, you know, then go for it.
You
But
know, Robin,
there are some health things too that you have to
That's
consider.
right. I had a friend tell me when I started losing a lot of weight, she asked me if I was going to have plastic surgery, and at that point I was like, I don't know. And she said, you know, Kristin, it's part of the journey. It's the final part of the weight loss journey, and to not do it, you know, can be for some a disservice. And I understand that the cost is prohibitive for many people. And it's not that you have to get it done all at once, though.
Right.
You know, if you can take it in stages and get parts of it covered through insurance or whatnot, you know, maybe have a plate sale, whatever you have to do, you know.
And start with the things that you're most uncomfortable with or that are causing for you. Your arms were your biggest problem for you.
And if I never get anything else done, I could live with it. I couldn't live with my arms the way they were.
Right.
It was, I was miserable.
Right.
I was
And
really
you have to
miserable.
be happy in yourself. You know, I may have looked at her and said, okay, I have big arms too. I don't see a problem with your arms. If it were me in your position, I might do something different. I might go for, you know, a lower body first, but that would be whatever was most important for me and most comfortable for me, and causing me the most problem, the most pain, that kind of thing.
Right.
So,
Well, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we want to thank you to all our new subscribers, all of those of you who are liking our videos and commenting. We really appreciate it. And we will be coming back to you again next week, and we really appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much.
all right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.